Gracious and loving God, we pray that the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts might be acceptable in your sight, O God, who is our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. It is in the haunting words of the dance diva Tina Turner that we hear the story today. What's love got to do with it? A teenage girl surprised to learn that she is pregnant. What's love got to do with it? A girl who is from the lower rungs of the economic strata. What's love got to do with it? The religion of her family is as small and insignificant on the world scene as a drop of water in the vast oceans. What's love got to do with it? Her fiancé wavers in his support for her, as he knows this child to come is not his own. What's love got to do with it? Unmarried, uncertain, and unsupported, she is forced by a harsh and unthinking political machine to travel many miles for a census at the very time she is to give birth. What's love got to do with that? And then, as if to add insult to injury, no decent accommodations are available to her. So her precious baby is born out back, the barn, really a carved out hole in the hillside just meant to keep beasts of burdens alive, not much more. What's love got to do with it? By all accounts, rather than love, this child should be born into bitterness, rage, humiliation, despair. Not love. Not love at all. And yet, we know love has everything to do with it. This is no ordinary birth, true. But equally important, this is no ordinary woman. She has inside of her that which is transforming, that which is sustaining, that which money cannot buy and greed and heartache cannot steal. She has a love born of an abiding faith. A faith in this God who has brought this to her. Faith in a future, uncertain though it may be. Faith in a child who is called holy. But what I want us to think about today, most especially, is she has faith in herself. She has faith in herself. Mary of Nazareth in Galilee understands that the one who created her, the one who redeems her, the one who sustains her, will never leave nor forsake her. She lived what would someday be written about her own child in her womb. Beloved, let us love one another. Because love is from God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. And whoever does not love does not know God, for God is love. She knew that before those words were ever penned on paper. This young woman, wise beyond her years and strong beyond her standing in society, would live out in this defining moment in her life what the babe that she would give birth to would preach years later. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. She She knew this instinctively, even as the one who would preach it was forming in her womb. In the single hardest act of human character, Mary realizes at the very moment that she is both the most insignificant human being alive and yet the very one God has chosen to save the world. To love God and neighbor and self at the same time is to bring the forces of the universe together in a powerful, world-changing combination. She knew it. How? I don't know. She knew it. Humility linked with courage. Selflessness bonded with self-assurance. This is how the world would be changed. This is how the world is changed. And so today, in respect and honor and in celebration of this amazing love that this woman we know as Mary was able to live out, I would like to step back from my own words, from my own thoughts, and offer you the words from three other people, three other places in our society, to help us understand what this true love is. A love that is fired in the crucible of self-confidence and courage and brave audacity, born not of ego or self-indulgence, but born of humility and faith. Three sets of words that I offer. They are not my own, but I think they will help us understand this amazing self-confidence that Mary had that gave her the love that she earned. The first words are from a very unlikely source for life-changing texts, from the pop charts of American music industry. A song made famous just a few years ago by singer Christina Aguilera. The words were penned by Linda Perry. Don't look at me. Every day is so wonderful, and then suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful. No matter what they say, words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. So don't you bring me down today. To all your friends, you're delirious, so consumed in your doom, trying hard to fill the emptiness. The piece is gone, left the puzzle undone. Ain't that the way it is? Because you are beautiful. No matter what they say, words can't bring you down. No, because you are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring you down. So don't you bring me down today. No matter what we'll do, no matter what we say, we're the song inside the tune, full of beautiful mistakes. And everywhere we go, the sun will always shine. And tomorrow we might awake on the other side. Because we are beautiful, no matter what they say. Yes, words won't bring us down. We are beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring us down, so don't you bring me down today. Don't you bring me down today. Don't you bring me down today. The second reading I offer is from over 100 years ago, from the writings of sociologist, historian, civil rights activist, and author W.E.B. Du Bois in his groundbreaking book, The Soul of Black Folks. This quote is really about slaves who had been emancipated from slavery, at the very act that we were talking about earlier. But as I read through this, I understood that everyone who has known any form of oppression, any form of exclusion, any form of shame and separation should understand themselves to be in this quote. Up the new path, the advance guard toiled, slowly, heavily, doggedly, Only those who have watched and guided the faltering feet, the misty minds, the dull understanding of the dark pupils of these schools know how faithfully, how piteously the people strove to learn. The cold statistician wrote down the inches of progress here and there, and noted also where here and there a foot had slipped and one had fallen. To the tired climbers, the horizon was ever dark. The mists were often cold. Cana was always dim and far, far away. If, however, the vistas disclosed as yet no goal, no resting place, little but flattery and criticism, the journey itself at least gave leisure for reflection and self-examination. It changed the child of emancipation to the youth with dawning self-consciousness, self-realization, self-respect. In those somber forests of his striving, his own soul rose before him, and he saw himself darkly as through a veil. And yet he saw in himself some faint revelation of his power, of his mission. He began to have a dim feeling that to attain his place in the world, he must be himself and not another. And finally, we come back to the late 20th century. And I offer words that are so powerful that they have been mistakenly attributed to the inaugural speech of Nelson Mandela when he was elected president of South Africa after apartheid had fallen, much to his own work. He had been in prison more than 2 decades and had then been elected as the president of that country. Now, he did not say these words, but they are so powerful they are attributed to him quite often. In fact, the person who wrote them is Marianne Williamson. How many have ever read her work, A Course in Miracles? I have never read it, but I know A Course in Miracles transformed the lives of many of my friends, particularly those who were HIV positive and with AIDS. It became the single source of spiritual reformation, I think, for the generation of persons I know who were affected by HIV/AIDS in the era when everybody was dying. She actually is honored to have her words misattributed to Nelson Mandela, wouldn't we all? Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant or gorgeous or talented or fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us. It's in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do so. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. My beloved, there is most certainly a spiritual discipline in practicing the gift that Mary of Galilee, mother of Jesus, lived out exquisitely. The gift of humble courage, of thoughtful boldness, and a selfless confidence. When we do this, when we allow our light to shine, which is God's light through us, then and only then are we truly capable of loving. Love God, beloved. Love your neighbor, beloved. But don't ever forget, love yourself, beloved. Amen.